Marriage can be challenging at times, but nothing worth doing is easy. However, one way to calm the tides is through listening to the tried and tested advice of relationship experts. Apollonia Ponti is one such expert who recently explained that there are certain character traits which should make you run for the hills rather than for the altar. So what can we learn from Meghan Markle's behavior that may help us in our relationships? Let's get to the crunch. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is, you are in for a treat today as we have an extraordinary video highlighting the 3 character traits Meghan has mastered, but that are very undesirable for a healthy marriage. The insecure person. At the beginning of this royal relationship, Meghan was clinging on to Harry with the kind of grip that you only see in aeroplane disaster movies, when the aeroplane doors have burst open mid-flight and the people are being sucked out left, right and centre. Well, Meghan would not be going anywhere with a grip like this, clinging on to Harry with the intensity of a hungry cobra, using precisely all of her hands, all of the time. She required Harry's full attention, dishing out unhinged amounts of PDA, public displays of affection, at inappropriate occasions for the whole world to see. These constant displays were intended to remind us, just in case we didn't know, that Harry belonged to Meghan. Back off, other ladies, he has been claimed. The double-handed claw only lasted when Meghan was out of her natural environment, when she was mingling with the high society and most probably felt excruciatingly out of place, suffering what we call imposter syndrome, and rightly so, as what an imposter she would turn out to be. The insecure person will constantly need to be validated with lovely comments like we see in their engagement interview, validated with expensive gifts like haute couture dresses that cost thousands of pounds and mansions that have upkeep fees more expensive than one of Elon Musk's trips to outer space. In a relationship with an insecure person, everything is about them all of the time. The words we hear most frequently used in an insecure person's vocabulary are me, myself, and you guessed it,
I think for both of us, so.
And Meghan must hold the record for being particularly skilled at including these 3 little words in any sentence, and more awkwardly, any situation. She must be one of the only people who has the capacity to take a podcast interview with Serena Williams, who must be one of the world's most fascinating and inspiring women, a phenom on the global sports stage, and make it about, guess who? Yes, Meghan. If you are looking for an afternoon giggle, you must take a listen to the first episode of Archetypes, in which Meghan sits down with Serena, and every time Serena begins to open up, which you know is why we're all there listening in the first place, Meghan cuts through the dialogue with a lengthy anecdote about herself. It is rather uncomfortable, and I did at one moment begin to feel sorry for Serena, who could barely get a word in edgeways.
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to be here. Just being honest.
The insecure person will take and take and take from you until you are confronted with sheer exhaustion. For context, let's take a look at Harry before Meghan and after Meghan. Ooh boy, it looks like someone after an exorcism. Here is William in the same time frame, equally married and with even more children, and with the pressure of one day reigning over the United Kingdom, and he doesn't look quite so harassed. Number 2, the spending. Meghan seems to believe her budget is limitless. Frogmore Cottage was not enough for Meghan, so just after having the place refurbished in an attempt at happiness, she discovered that no matter how much money was spent on the royal estate's luxury cottage, it would just never be a mansion in Montecito, where you can be neighbours with Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres. The theory here among relationship experts is that if someone is overspending on themselves, it is probably because they don't genuinely value themselves. And by overspending, I mean exclusively spending more money than you actually have. This would explain why she keeps the price tag on her clothing so she can return it the next day, and could also explain why it was alleged that she stole a pair of Aquazzura beige stilettos from the set of her ad campaign for Reitmans in Canada. While shooting the campaign, things took a sour turn. Meghan was secretly dubbed the princess by the crew as her demands were so outlandish. She left the set without feeling the need to say thank you or goodbye. But most surprisingly for the crew was the fact that she took the Aquazzura shoes, which did not belong to her, out the door with her. And number 3, she is a drama queen. Drama queens tend to be loud and need to be the center of attention. They may even flirt with other men just to feel validated. Meghan is a classic drama queen. They tend to create drama and gossip a lot. Well, need I say any more? However, Meghan doesn't gossip in the usual fashion. She places herself on the world stage before opening up about all of the people who were allegedly mean to her. She sat across from Oprah Winfrey whilst millions tuned in to hear her call Catherine Princess of Wales a bully that made her cry, call her own family liars, and to call the entire royal family racist. If there was a prize for the world's biggest gossip, it would surely be given to Meghan Markle. Someone said it's always sad that marriages flounder, but a blind man on a galloping horse could see this happening. It has been claimed time and time again that their marriage is very much on the rocks. They are starting to go their own separate ways publicly with their business endeavors. Harry is venturing to Africa to prepare for his new Netflix documentary. Who knows what she's doing, but I imagine it's something to do with social media. Everyone is talking about how she wants to be the next Gwyneth Paltrow and start her own version of Goop. Maybe we could call it Moop. But they are separating little by little, whereas at the beginning of their relationship, as we saw, they were constantly together, constantly supporting each other. Someone else said, Meghan and Harry are miserable in my opinion. If they were happy people, they would live their lives quietly instead of always lashing out and suing everyone. Very true. Actually, I'm calling Meghan the drama queen in this episode, but Harry is also a bit of a drama queen. He wasn't before Meghan. He had his dramas, but he never would lash out publicly and open up to the world and make himself look like an idiot. But more and more he is now doing that. And unfortunately, I think we knew he was a bit of an idiot before, but we could pretend that he wasn't because he was royal and he had this wonderful posh accent. Whereas now he's opened up a little bit too much, created a little bit too much drama, said things in the court which are ludicrous. He came to the court with zero evidence, for example, and said that he was at court to get evidence about the phone hacking scandal. And of course, the lawyers and the judges are all completely bemused because you come to court with evidence for why you're suing. You don't come to court with no evidence and just hope that evidence appears in court, proving the accusations that you are making. Someone else said Meghan was never in love with Harry. In my opinion, she loved what he could do for her. She loved the fame and the fortune. It seems that their relationship is very much on the rock, but more and more people are coming forward saying that she cannot leave him until he gets his inheritance. Whoever made the decision to kind of prolong I think it was Princess Anne who made the decision to prolong the inheritance being given out, probably was aware of Meghan and Harry's imminent divorce and thus made the rather intelligent decision to hold back on that inheritance. So Meghan needs to kind of hang in there if she can. If something better doesn't come up for Meghan, she will be holding out for this inheritance payout. Someone else said Harry traded the Institute of the Monarchy for a far worse Institute of Meghan Markle. It seems we all knew his wife better than he did, and I feel like we still do. Of course, you get rose-tinted glasses, don't you? If you're in love with someone, you cannot see what is going on for the life of you. So, silly little Harry, he really needs to take those rose-tinted glasses off so he can get a better look at what's going on. And someone else said, you should always be aware of those who protest too loudly to be madly in love. Usually, there are tempests brewing. And those of you who saw the warning signs from the beginning, and I must claim I was not one of those people. I was very excited initially about the marriage of Meghan and Harry before we knew what Meghan was really like. Those of you who did see the warning signs and who are very good at picking up on small details, you've known from the beginning. You got the measure of Meghan Markle right from the start. Someone else said Harry looks perfectly miserable. I wonder if Meghan's bizarre, overjoyed behavior is brought on by the fact that she gets off on watching Harry suffer. She always seems her happiest when he is at his lowest. If the roles were reversed, if Harry was the woman in the relationship and he was looking miserable and exhausted, we would probably be screaming abuse. But because he's the man, because he's supposed to be the strong one, nobody seems to care as much about his physical condition and about the progression of his health. And it is just an interesting observation that if the roles were switched around, if Harry was a woman and if Meghan was the man in the relationship, people would be speaking up about it a lot more. Someone else said, you just can't unsee the Markle claw. I have never seen this behavior anywhere else. Abuse has no race, no gender, and no social boundaries. There you go. Abuse, absolutely. The claw is a sign of abuse. Imagine a man clinging onto his wife like that. You'd think she's kidnapped. There is no race, no gender, and no social boundaries when it comes to abuse. If you think that Meghan is not the best wife for Harry, then give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to help our crown family blossom. Thanks for watching. See you down in the comments.